a lot of root immunization. I've got a few pictures I was able to put together to try to make it more interesting than just a dry handout. I'll keep trying to prove it to make it interesting, but I need to cover the information too. The test is Tuesday, next Tuesday, not today. Next Tuesday. What is Thursday though, which is more immediate? Lab. I'm going to help you every way I can. The lab midterm is going to be a PowerPoint, except for one or two out in the lab. Because people are saying they can't see through the stove, or it's out of phase, or they're not sure. And then I can say, it means this thing right here. Even though I have it on a pointer, people move it. Okay? I'm sort of against that. I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing this because I think in microbiology you got to, well, you're using the stove in the lab, I want you to be able to use it, period. But I'm doing this now, and I hope it's going to help you. If it doesn't help you, it won't be something that continues. Yes?
In class, in lecture class Thursday, are you going to review some for the test Tuesday?
Yes. Assuming I can get all this material off there. I need to finish up prokaryotes, do most of eukaryotes, and then hopefully that will give you time to finish eukaryotes and do a review for Thursday. So I really want you to get all this here.
So the midterm is Tuesday.
Thursday. No, the midterm's this Thursday.
Thursday.
This Thursday. Just don't change that. It's got the hard notice somehow this Thursday. Come to your own. Don't go to others because they may not be running. And also people skip and get the time wrong and lose a zero for yes. So don't worry, I'm scared too. I'm just looking out the neighbor's car or something so I'm going to start in the morning. Okay? Take a deep breath. Try to make this not as scary as it seems to be. We're going to start back on the gram-negative proteobacteria. We did Desulfovibrio. I did give the handout out, but I will give out a few more when I use it. Okay, sometimes things happen. Okay. Okay, anybody see one? You look at that, you don't look nice. Why do you look at that? They are good. Good. Okay, pass one back, please. Can you pass one back, please? They're not okay. They're okay. All right. This is where I'm going to pick back up. The Desulfovibrio. I want to do a quick memory jog before I go there. On the previous page, because I like to start with something I taught before, I said Caulibacter is environmental. That is able to stick to things in the environment in low nutrient water, and it might be able to be used for waterproof glue, might be able to be used in your dentures and a ship hull. I said it forms a rosette, which is very unique, and only Caulibacter does that. I drew it on the board and I said all of the gel is fine and center and the spotted cell goes out. This is the rosette of Caulibacter, which is more environmental, maybe with some biotechnology applications. It will break in the center of the flagella, and guess what every one of these things does?
I'm sorry, can you show me again what page we're on?
This is a reference back to one before, it's just Caulibacter. Okay, let me see, which one is it? Well, I'm not starting tonight, I'm just doing a review. No. Okay, I'll find it for you. Hold on a minute. This is just a memory jog, it wasn't meant to start anything. Okay, well that's okay, because I'm supposed to help. Caulibacter is under alpha proteobacteria. So it was the first one we did yesterday. Alpha, you need it. And Caulibacter is in the center, it's the A bacteria. The A bacteria, you have the B bacteria, you have the D bacteria, and you have the E bacteria, and you have the G bacteria. Okay? That was meant as a memory jog and also to give you a picture of it so you would have a picture to go with the rosette. A picture of the rosette. Okay, now, going to Desulfovibrio, which is today's. Let me push them back. We're on the delta bacteria is where we left off. Desulfovibrio. Here's just important to them. I already said this before, so we'll have a little bit of a review. He is important to the sulfur cycle. And not so much today, but in days past, he's real bad for eating holes through iron pipes. Because he causes iron and to get brittle and to fall apart and stay out. It's right here, the sulfur vibrio under delta bacteria. So to let you see what he can actually do to iron pipes, he can actually put holes in them and corrode them. Of course, we don't tend to use plastic more nowadays. But if you have some old infrastructure, and a lot of our infrastructure is old with sewage and water lines are starting to break and give way, this could be part of what's happening when you get those water main line breaks, if they're not fast. So, and that's happening a lot all over the country. Okay, down to this, the other thing that's happening is septic tanks are leaked into the local waterways. Down here, myxobacteria, it's an environmental. Myxo. Let me give you a tripping stone to watch out for, please. Okay. Mycobacteria. Okay, TB, tuberculosis. Then you have mycoplasmas, no cell wall. Then you have myxobacteria. Get the idea? They're all very similar at the beginning, so work a little bit to not trip over the closest in the names, okay? Closest in the names. Myxobacteria are simply environmental. You walk around them and go through the woods. What they're unique for is an environmental reproductive point. If they have plenty of food, they sort of keep gliding around and moving. If they run out of food in the forest where they are, they will go together and aggregate into a clump, and then the clump will keep rising up. At the very end, when the clump rises high enough, they will form myxospores. They are bacteria. And what are the spores going to do? Spores are going to release there, and wherever they land, if there's plenty of food, they're going to turn back into the little vegetative cell that flies around eating. If there's not enough food, you'll probably die because you have more than one. But this is what happens. So that's an environmental myxobacteria. There's not much else to say about it. It's not a pathogen. At this point in time, it has no biotechnology applications. Bless you. Bless you. And that is something we want to be sure of. Yes?
And that word myxobacteria underneath it, that's a arrow, or what is that?
It says unique life cycle, lives in the dirt, plenty of nutrient equals vegetative cell, few nutrients equal change, that is, cells aggregate. Aggregate means clump together. That's what the word means. Aggregate means get together. Forms fruiting body. That's the fruiting body.
And then right
At the very bottom, it's.
Says
That just says
myxobacteria.
arrow.
there. Okay, that's what I wanted to
Okay.
know.
See, you got more than you want to do. Wait, this is my question. No, it's on there. Okay. Yes.
Vegetative cells means three spores, right?
Vegetative cell means the eating moving form. Okay, not the spores. Spores are separate. Vegetative cell is the little rod of E. coli. Or if you want, the psilus of the psilocybin races is the vegetative cell. You don't call the spore the vegetative cell. Two separate things.
What did I say in vegetative form? There's three
Vegetative form.
spores. Not here, but I read it something like that. In vegetative form.
Okay, don't worry about that. Just the vegetative cell moves, and then it forms a fruiting body. Fruiting body rises up on a stalk, forms myxospores at the end, and those are released. Okay, let's go through that pathway.
If this was my pipe, is this desofibrio because it replaces the plastic one? Wow. And they replace, they had to replace all the plastic pipe.
Well, that was one of the ones that are, but he's absolutely one of the Can I get a picture sometime?
Yeah, I can email it to you.
Would you please? We've got a great picture right here of a pipe that's been corroded and eaten through by the sulfur vibrio. Okay? Not him. Okay. That's myxobacteria. Let me, okay, I'm not in a rush. I don't want to teach you everything and cover everything, but I want you to be okay before we go with that. How long did it flood? For a day?
It was like, well, it was my neighbors, because I live in like a duplex, so it's like we both share the same home, but it was like for like 2 days, and then they realized like when they took all the cement off the top of it, that it was
Corroded through.
Yeah.
That's a better picture than my picture.
Yeah, they had to replace them all with plastic ones.
That's
And we were wondering why they didn't put like the, I guess
because the organisms will corrode and put holes in it. However, with plastics, you got another problem. Plastics are known to leach chemicals. But then so do iron pipes. They leach iron. If you have lead pipes, they drive you crazy. That's the thing about ancient Rome, because the lead needs to be a lot, leaching neurological problems. I don't know if you should choose. Okay? All three of them have something.
Take your poison.
Take your poison. Okay? Yes.
So if the dairy, you say it vegetates to form the fruiting body, and then that forms stalks, and on the stalks is the myxospores?
Yes.
Because the bottom of it's cut off, so it's turned.
That's right. That's okay. And remember, everything in here is in text format in the PAL notes, in the focus notes. Every single word is typed out in the PAL focus notes. Okay? But you're supposed to ask. Yes. Oh, okay. The Jello Vibrio, he is very weird. But back to environmental. Let me turn this back on.
The Della Vibrio, very strange. Next time I'll try the review to have a movie for you. Think of a little itty bitty rod, about this big. Think of a flagella that goes all the way up to the parking lot. Okay, I've seen kittens that way. You ever saw a kitten one time where the cat was about this big and the tail was about that big? This is really funny. Well, he is a bacterial, get this, parasite. He only attacks bacteria. He doesn't attack anything else. That is his target. Bless you. In fact, he only attacks bacteria that have a paraplasmic space between two cell membranes. Do you remember what they'll do? Gram-positive or gram-negative? Gram-negative. Yeah, great. So he goes, he drills in, literally, like one of those augers you have to drill in, go to the paraplasmic space, and start reproducing the paraplasmic space. He eats the bacterium from the inside out until there's nothing left. When he's finished eating the E. coli or the Enterobacter or whatever it is he's eating, Klebsiella, he will have one huge long filament. Of course, the E. coli gets broken open, and then the huge filament breaks back up into little itty bitty rods, and they all form what? Long flagella, and they're off to go get the next bacteria. People have research trying to use these to help cure gram-negative infections in people, because that's what they do. It hasn't worked so far. It has not worked so far. Isn't that neat? Videl is V-D-B-L-L-O, B-D-E-L-O, and then the word Vibrio. Okay? And it says pathogen of gram-negatives, unique reproduction is a figure referred to. Brief points drills in the paraplasmic space. Only gram-negatives have paraplasmic space. Are y'all ready for the E bacteria? E bacteria. First one is just plain old Campylobacter. It just can cause different types of infections, blood poisoning, inflamed intestinal tract. I may have time another time to show you a case where there was food poisoning. There was a get-together in Scotland, and there had been a heavy rain the night of. And you know what haggis is?
Yeah.
I can't handle it. It's
Scottish.
steep in-
That's Scottish.
It's Spanish. It's sheep intestines stuffed with meats and spices, okay? They were serving that, and most of the people came down with a Campylobacter food poisoning. Well, what's the first thing they looked at? They looked at the meat product. Then they looked at other things. And of all things, the mystery was it was in the iced tea. What had happened, what did I just say over here with the pipes corroding with the sulfur vibrio? Corrosion. Things are leaking. What did I say happened on the night of? Heavy rains, flooding. It so happens that at that night, there had been an overspill from a cesspool, and it got into the water, and the water used for the iced tea had Campylobacter. That was a mystery they hadn't solved, because they expected it to be in the meat. And you never would have associated with rain, because the rain hadn't happened, it wouldn't have overflowed that happened. Helicobacter, you've heard this fellow before, Helicobacter. This is the one that the Australian researchers drank a bottle of it to prove that it causes gastric ulcers, and they cure themselves. I'm truly not recommending that. Alright? Helicobacter causes ulcers, researcher has time, and then the idea was that if you had an ulcer, it's because you have mental stress or you're worrying too much. He said, no, there's a bacterium causing the infection. And he actually proved it. It's Helicobacter pylori. Helicobacter. Okay? It has to be a what? It's in the stomach. Neutrophils, has to be acidified. He cheats a little bit. He produces just a little bit of sodium bicarbonate. Even though it's baking, that's sodium bicarbonate. It's a base. He's not getting out of acidic pH, but he's dropping pH just a little bit as he burrows through the walls of the stomach. Okay? That's what he did. He'll burrow through. And if he can get through, he's going to go all the way through. All right, next one. So a lot of this. Other gram-negative bacteria, no genetic relationship. I said some are GDC-based ratio. Some are biochemical code. Some are RNA sequencing. These are ones that they couldn't fit together well, so they threw them into a category of we don't know where they belong, and threw them into this group. That's taxonomy in microbiology. Sorry to tell you. Chlamydia, you know what that is, sexually transmitted disease. The odd thing about this is there are two forms. There's the reticulate body and there's the elementary body. Reticulate body and elementary body. Only the elementary body is able to make the next person sick and pass from person to person. Let's say two forms. I'm pointing out the bigger points here. Two forms. Elementary body, reticulate body. Only the reticulate body, the elementary body, can infect the next person. It will grow inside your white blood cells. It will grow inside your white blood cells. And then there's this very small, kind of smaller than some viruses, obligate intracellular parasite. Do you know which of these organisms are obligate intracellular parasites and which ones are not? What does it mean when I say that? They have to reproduce in a host cell. Okay? Liver reproduce in host cell only is the definition. Can cause blindness for newborns. Most common U.S. sexually transmitted disease. Okay, unique life cycle. There you go. Your reticular bodies and your elementary bodies. Elementary bodies being infected. And that's the high points that I want you to focus on for that. All right. Spirochetes. You already know this. So if this comes up in test on Tuesday, you probably heard these two spirochetes, heard these two spirochetes, heard these two spirochetes. First, what's the shape? Tight cold. Tight cold. Treponema Borrelia. And what it's saying there is the entire cell will corkscrew through your tissue. It like drills through your tissue. So what is treponema? Syphilis. What does that mean? 3 stages.
Primary,
I'm sorry?
secondary.
No, not, the other one's lymphocytes. I'm on right now, treponema syphilis.
Yeah, is that the primary, secondary?
Yeah, primary, secondary, you're right.
Tertiary.
Primary, secondary, tertiary. Know what's involved in each one. Primary, painless paper, hides. Secondary, more serious, hides. Tertiary? Organs, heart, and your brain. Okay. Borrelia, Lyme disease, vector. You won't know you're bitten. You will not even know you're bitten. Because it's tiny. Possible bullet-like rash, but for less than 50% of cases. Then, what are the symptoms? Tiredness, fatigue. Like you have rheumatoid arthritis, and you can go to neurological disorders. And people, one of the nurses in a movie said she couldn't remember. She tried to drive to the hospital and look, and she couldn't remember how to get there. Not remember how to get there. And dogs can get it too, bless you. If that one family, all their dogs had it, the pregnant mother got it, and it crosses the placenta. The child was born with knee problems. Okay.
Once you have that and they treat it, is there long-lasting effects even after the treatment?
That's sort of depends on case by case. In some cases, yes, you're cured. In some cases, it seems like no matter how many times you give them antibiotics, it seems to go on. And remember, he can hide it off very well.
My mom had it a long time ago.
She'll get it?
And she's fine now.
Oh, good. Cool. Just put it there. It
Thank
doesn't
you so
have to be
wrong with her, I don't know.
Where's one there? It's funny. Yes, people are cured. People are cured all the time. To be honest, there is no rhyme or reason they know of why this person's cured and that person goes into chronic unable to work for the rest of their life. If they catch them found out.
She has other health problems, but I don't know if it could be related or not.
That's a hard call. Usually when it goes chronic, it's because somebody didn't know they had it and had it for
Long
months
term.
or years.
That's what I was gonna ask, once you get to a certain point, there's no, like, turning back, you can't cure it anyway.
Sometimes you still can, but you're more likely to have ongoing problems, more likely. Now, you've got two schools of thought, or two method schools of thought, and you have to decide which one to do that. One school of thought, which the insurance companies on that side, is there is only acute lung disease cured with antibiotics, and there's no such thing as any long-term effects, period, ever. There's the other side that says there are ongoing long-term effects, and it can stay hidden in the body and cause your problems for the rest of your life. There are some doctors that will not diagnose lung disease. There are some doctors that will. Okay. Bacteroides. Bacteroides. R-O-I-D-S. Again, back in the focus. These are strict anaerobes. Strict anaerobes. I'll probably describe it first, then I'll read it down for you. They live in your abdomen, but they can't have water to go. Oxygen. Yes. Now, if they stay in your intestines, they're a good old resident microbe. They don't bother you. You're okay. But if you're in a car accident or something perforates that intestine and they get into the abdomen, they're one of the worst abdominal infections there is. What's the old traditional knowledge when people got shot for antibiotics? You die. Because what? The organisms have gotten into the abdomen from where they belong. Right? Bacteroides. Over 30% in human feces are most common anaerobic pathogen. It says infection, abdomen, pelvis, blood. Well, if it goes to blood, it goes septicemia. Okay? That means it's blood. Through the whole body. Gunshot wounds. Gunshot wounds. Okay. Going down. Okay.
Did you say human interaction?
It says human interaction, which means it's one of our resident microbes. One of our protecting resident microbes. Probably helps you keep from getting celiac. It's in the right place. Everything's opportunist attached. Every single organism is opportunist attached. They don't tell you that. But if your immune system's compromised, you are just walking through. Okay. Environmental, going down to cytophagia, which has a pointed end. He glides, that's the only thing I want you to know about him because this is environmental, is he can break down into that complex polysaccharides defined as agar, pectin, chitin, and cellulose. Okay? The thing that's off at the bottom is he can't help break down sewage. Can't help break down sewage. But think of Zoglia and Sphaerotelis primarily for sewage. Think about that. Have you ever made homemade preserves of raspberries or blackberries? You get about 10 tons of sugar. You get pectin. Pectin is what makes your jelly or your Jell-O solid. Usually, it's not gelatin, it should be pectin. And now, what? Agar? You know why we use agar on our plates? There's very few things to break it down. When Koch started, he started with other types of gelatin. Almost every bacteria liquefied the gelatin. He couldn't get separate column. Then there's the agar because it stays solid for most bacteria. They can't eat it. And you can get separate column. Chitin is back to both your lobster shell and for cockroach shells and beetle shells. Same thing. Cellulose is what you're writing on. What's that? Paper. And it has to come from the cell wall of a plant. Cell wall of a plant. Is everybody okay with that one? Okay, then I'm going to go to another one. And I have part of this. Hold on. Let's put this back to the next one. I'm going to the G bacteria. Gram negative, gamma bacteria. This part that's not here, I have up on a PowerPoint so you can see it clearly. And this will be improved. We're going to come back to that in a minute. So this is what's on the side under Enterobacter aceri. So G bacteria, this is where you look at. Anybody else?
Which picture was
G bacteria? Gamma bacteria? Gamma bacteria? Okay, good. So really these handouts are A, B, D, G, and anything goes. Okay, a lot. Facultative anaerobes, what does that mean? Can we
Metabolic
do it?
oxygen.
I'm not going to make you all learn what metabolic pathways they have. So the Enterobacter aceri do glycolysis. You heard of glycolysis before? Yeah. Enterobacter aceri is ENTERO, then it's ENTEROBAC plus bacteria. There's literally the word bacteria in the middle there. BACTERIA plus CEAC. Don't worry about the oxidation. These organisms are right there. They're ground rods, facultative anaerobes. They're going to the next possible fearful point. You might not be fearful. Unumerous. This point in time, these as a group, as you can tell, called the Enterobacter aceri. Enterics for short. There is now a CRE coming out of the hospital. It's not included yet in the hospitals. You know what CRE stands for? Carbapenem. So carbapenem, C-A-R-B-A-P-E-N-E-M. It's an antibiotic. It's a strong antibiotic. The entire organisms are carbapenem resistant. Guess what? Enterobacter aceri, which means what? C-R-E. Resistant, Enterobacter aceri, carbapenem is antibiotic. They're probably resistant to a whole bunch of others. One hospital in DC kept this secret for several months. At the point in time, at least a year ago, it was a report that I'm going to show you when we get to the end. Once they want in, 50% of patients still die. It wants to climb catheter. They are naturally, Enterobacter aceri are known for being in your intestines, except for pathogens, as residents. So they're there. It will climb a catheter, and they use the catheter as a highway system into your body. It becomes systemic. What did I just say? Hold on. One medical doctor that was in one of the clips was saying he tries to get catheters out of his patients as soon as possible. And it's in the hospital, and it's spreading. Anyway, some of the species under the group, and I want you to know the group called the Enterobacter aceri. Now that's the group name, Enterobacter aceri. No, these organisms are examples of, okay, examples of. I'm going to pull them apart for those that are more residents and those that are more pathogenic. The residents are in you right now. If you develop a CRE, you don't want to, like they're spreading resistance. The first one, Escherichia coli. He's a natural resident. How many times have you heard that? But if you eat him in your food, he is food poison, fancy word for it. Gastroenteritis, okay? Food poison. Next one that has there, Shigella, is always active. It is severe diarrhea, very severe diarrhea. Okay? Next one is Enterobacter. At the time this is made, no problem. Guess who has become a CRE? Enterobacter has. Enterobacter has, not all of them, some of them have become CREs. Serratia is that red one that you streaked out in the lab. Remember him? Turns red after about a day or two. Pretty generally harmless. Okay, uses lab tests. Now, Salmonella is not harmless. Salmonella is two things you think of. Typhoid fever and food poisoning. Food poisoning.
one's so easy, people tend to not think of it. Let me always tell you about poultry and eggs. Possible. Salmonella. Okay? Yes, he's always bad. So E. coli can be resident or bad. Shigella, always bad, massive diarrhea. Enterobacter, pretty much resident, harmless, unless you have a substrain that's a CRE. Serratia, pretty much harmless, often used in labs. You did it. Salmonella, pathogen or non-pathogen? Pathogen. Proteus, can be bad, can be good. We can handle it, we're going to handle it after the midterm, we're going to roll up, see how he looks. Right organ in the wrong place is true for causing problems. It can cause urinary tract infections. But you have to put him in your urinary tract. He's not naturally there. Bless you. He's not naturally there. He's where these are. These are all found in the intestine. These are all often found in intestines. So such intestine, human intestine. You know who your Yersinia is. Who's Yersinia? What? Yeah. Bubonic plague. Klebsiella can be harmless, nitrogen-fixing, free-living bacteria out in the environment, or can be Klebsiella pneumoniae. Guess what that causes? Pneumonia. So you can go either way. I know you have some resident Klebsiella on you. Not sure you don't have pneumonia or UV. Yeah. Now, Enterobacter has gone bad with CREs. E. coli has gone bad with CREs. The first CRE that showed up was a Klebsiella. And I hope you don't need these, because they're not very good. Everybody okay with that? All right. I'll show you some pictures now. I'm going to show you one that just jogs back just for a second. Who do you associate with gastric ulcers? Helicobacter. Listen to where we are. If you have black bubbles occurring underneath the arms where the what? Lymph nodes are, what could that be indicative of? It's one of these Enterobacter history that's always bad. Yersinia. That's Yersinia. And it's going to get blacker and it's going to get bigger. There are other pictures that are worse showing people's parts turning black. All right, I'm going to come to him in a minute. I'm going to come to him now. The pseudomonads. Please be sure in your mind to keep the pseudomonads away from the Enterobacterales group, or the enterics. Pseudomonads are still small, ground-needed rods, but they're different. Microbiology has some fine points. Aerobic, of course, they have flagella. They have an interdural pathway. You don't have to know that for the test. Environmental and pathogenic. For environmental, dwells in the dirt. You can have free-living nitrogen fixers. What does that mean? It takes nitrogen from the air and links it to hydrogen, the basis for us getting what? Not oxygen. Amino acids and proteins. Two species are Azotobacter and right here Azomonas. They're just free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria. That's the only organism that fixes nitrogen. The prokaryotes. Pathogenic, here you go. Will spoil milk, eggs, and meat in the fridge. He can grow in the fridge. One person I knew did this way back when dinosaurs were walking around and I was going through college. Y'all know what a tea dinner is? It's a little aluminum tray. You keep it frozen, you have to wait an hour. Put it in the oven. You never get to eat it till you starve to death. This person who had they had a general kitchen, pulled it out, heated it up, didn't want to eat it, put it back in the fridge. 3 or 4 months later, somebody, you know what people do in communal kitchens. Okay? I love to say since your mom doesn't work here, right? Somebody opened it up, the whole top of it was from one side to the other. Pseudomonas can grow in the fridge. Pseudomonas tend to have a green, sometimes yellow tinged green pigment to it. And I had a student tell me that she was treating Pseudomonas wounds. The wounds will ooze, the plasma won't be clear, it won't be pussy, it could be pussy, but it's going to have a color to it, it's going to have a what? Greenish color to it. Not a fruity idea. That's your Pseudomonas. Can grow at 4 degrees, pathogens, Pseudomonas, urinary tract infections. I'm going to show you some other ones. Like burn patients. I love burn patients. burn patient has a nice little coating of green on them. That's Pseudomonas. Now, we said swimmer's ear here. You use the what drops? Yeah, the drops to get it out. Pseudomonas are usually your swimmer's ears infections. We mentioned one other organism previously, and I can test you, that causes other infections would be the streptococci. And is that only 2 ear infections? That's 2 of them. 2 of them. Okay, this right here is a person's eye. Somebody's eye has gotten infected with Pseudomonas. If you ever, they did a check, I'm not saying this is mascara, but they did a check on mascara, and if people don't change their mascara regularly, they found that 80% of the organisms in there were Staph aureus, and about something like 18% at that point in time, at that one sample, were Pseudomonas. So if you go back into the tube of mascara, and we all, through our eyes, what are we really doing for around our eyes? We're innocuous. So, thank you. Get rid of it, change it out. Yes, there are things in there to kill, but if you, one person told me they did the same mascara for 3 years. So, don't do that. This is a wound. It's around a person's toe. Probably see if they ever had black down. It's oozing. It's greenish, and it's oozing green plasma. Pseudomonad wound. Alright. Are you okay? Let the pictures help me worse. I won't keep adding pictures. And stories. And horror stories and funny stories. Okay. Got that one. Way at the bottom, other glycolytics. Those don't, I don't think you know that they are or not have glycolysis. That means these do have glycolysis as metabolism. Vibrio. Vibrio collar gives you rice water stools, diarrhea. Excuse me. That's it. Literally, it's straw colored. Looks like somebody took white rice and threw it in there. Sometimes the beds are plastic beds, especially if they're in an area that doesn't have a lot of money. They put a hole in the opening where the person's derriere will go. They put a bucket in it. And that's what they have to do for some cholera. Of course, you have to be sure you do what you hydrate with electrolytes. That's what John Snow was going to do with him Snow's day. Other one, Haemophilus, is Haemophilus, well, that's actually Haemophilus influenza. They put influenza there. That's got a problem with that name. You know what? Flu is not a bacterium, it is a virus. It was misnamed way back in the beginning of the 1900s. So every time they check people's lungs for flu, they often found Haemophilus influenza. What happens in the doctor's office? You can start with a virus, which you can't treat a virus. But you can have a secondary bacterial infection come in. Because what are you doing? You're storing up mucus and blobs in your sinuses and in your throat. That's chunked food all stored in there for something else to land in and start. Okay? So let's go for that one. I'm going to go to the back now. Okay, here's another one. A diverse group, which means they don't really know how they fall together. Still under gamma bacteria. Over the circle right here it says intracellular pathogens. Intracellular pathogens. Legionella and Coxiella. Legionella and Coxiella. Coxiella. There was a time when nobody knew or heard of Legionnaires disease. Never had any idea it existed. You know what it was named after?
Legionnaires.
The Legionnaires were having a convention in a certain hotel. And what was happening is everybody was coming down with respiratory illnesses, pneumonia-like symptoms / flu-like symptoms. And they're not really separate from clear symptoms. Do you know where they found it was coming from? The air vents. This organism is very good for growing in low nutrient waters. When we're in Florida, when we run our air conditioner on a humid day, and we pull our car out of the parking lot, what is a little puddle in the car? Water. Where do the water come from? Air conditioner.
air conditioners compensate. Drip, 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 drip. Well, if it forms inside the ducts, which is in this hotel, or there's little layers of the water inside the air conditioning duct. What do you blow through air conditioning ducts? Air. Where does it go? The entire building. People breathe in the lungs. People die. That's the first time they did it. So respiratory. Coxiella acidophile, of course you know what that means, grows inside the phagolysosome of a white blood cell. What that means is we have white blood cells that will go up and phagocytize, which means eat a bacteria to do what? To break it down and protect us. The phagosome is the little balloon that surrounds the bacterial that's been swallowed. The lysosome comes off of the Golgi body, and get this, it's a little teeny bacterial loaded with acidic pH, breakdown enzymes such as proteases, and all many of the toxic oxygen byproducts that came from metabolism. Well, if you have two balls and they join, it's called a phagolysosome. It's the word phagosome, lysosome, and join together for the fusion of the bacteria. What did you just stop on? Bacteria that was eaten by white blood cells. The contents of the lysosome, acidic pH, breakdown enzymes, proteases, lysases, a whole slew of them, and toxic oxygen byproducts such as hydrogen peroxide and so. What should happen to that bacteria? Should be killed, disintegrated, destroyed. Not him. You can live there. You can live and reproduce there. Okay? Alright, so let me put the phone. Okay, environmental, coming to methane oxidizers. I'm not going to stop you right. May have important call. Way back when, you remember the methanogens. Methanogens aren't bacteria, they're archaea. Methanogens produce that flammable gas called methane. The methane.
Oh, it's not on.
Is that
Not mine. Mine's here.
It died. It didn't die. It died. If it's important, it's okay. I'm not going to fuss. I don't know.
Just
Okay.
have to listen. This Coxiella, is that a pathogen?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
so it doesn't go in your stomach?
Doesn't go in your stomach. That's Helicobacter. Coxiella goes inside your immune cells and it loses. Okay?
So that it's an acidophile, so that we have the lungs.
The inside of the lysosome is an acidic pH. So that's what it means. That's how it lives there. Okay, but stomach is a logical thought. That's Helicobacter. He's inside the acidic lysosome. Methane oxidizers. Okay, below the methane oxidizers are the methanogens for archaea. That's way back when we started. They produce the flammable gas, which we don't want in the air because it warms the planet up faster. The methane oxidizers take the methane gas and use it as an energy source and therefore keep it from reaching what? On fire. Remember all that did out electron receptors? CO3 goes to CH4. When CH4 is the methane, methane's going up. It's now loaded with energy. The methane oxidizers, which are a different species right above the methanogens, I noticed in the names of different species, will then take the methane CH4, drain the energy off of electrons, and then keep it plus C. Does that make sense? More environmental cycle. Okay, biofilm application, yes, so they're just above the archaea methanogens. Use up the methane, CH4's methane from methanogens as carbon energy source. Our way to keep methane out of the air so our planet doesn't warm up more than it already will. Warm up more. Everybody okay with that? Okay. I know you must be spending a lot of the weekend after that. Flashcards probably. Let's do one a little bit different. Give you a break before I go to the eukaryotes, unless I still have some more information into Thursday. Who needs and wants arthropod vectors? Try everybody. Pretty much everybody. Arthropod vectors. It has mice, arachnia, insects. Okay. Death versus is serious disease from point A to point B. You want any one? See in the, oh, we should have some back here. You like, okay? These are bugs that help spread bacteria. That's what it comes down to. Bugs that help spread the bacteria. Segmented bodies, jointed legs, external skeleton. You know that's the definition of insects and arachnids. They have an external skeleton. We have an internal skeleton with our body and our head. Theirs is on the outside. You know that one way to kill scorpions, try to wake you up? With food. That's the only one. They have taken these things and they have irradiated them and then were scurried off. They have taken them and frozen in an ice cube, melted it, and then they scurried off. Okay? And they don't have very long lifespans, but they're hard to kill. And if anybody's ever tried to kill a spider with spider spray, let me tell you, that doesn't affect like that. Did y'all hear about the house with the brown recluses, like 6,000, 8,000 of them?
Just light on fire.
There's a house. See, I'm trying to. The real world is so interesting. There's a house at a country club. Can't remember what. And then it's like a $450,000 house. The people bought it. The lady of the house was taking a shower, and brown recluses started falling out from the ceiling all around her into the shower. When they checked, they started finding them everywhere. They had a, what's the right bug person called? Terminator come in. He estimated it was between 4,000 to 6,000 or more brown recluses growing in their walls. So they moved out. I'm not sure what happened to the house. That's what I heard people were trying to, I think it went to bankruptcy or abandoned. They tenanted it, and the people that took over the house, whoever they are, were trying to sell it to us. You just said, that's bad. Would you want to be the neighbors?
How do you know that you ever got rid of them?
Burn it down.
You're definitely, you want to burn it
You
down.
have no choice but to burn it down.
Hey,
There's no choice.
tenting supposedly what we do for termites around here a lot of times. Seal it in a huge and put poisonous gas into it to get all your goldfish out. Okay. They say it would look like it.
No,
You know,
I wouldn't take
I
the
wouldn't
chance
want to
to
do
burn
it
it
in the
down.
shower with spiders coming at me.
That's how she found out. That was the first time they really did it. But,
What do they do like the brown ones? Like how they the black widow?
oh, they're as bad or equally bad. They bite you, they cause necrosis, break them, they just tissues involved. Okay.
Aren't they the ones that look like that?
No, I don't know about that. I heard about the Australian one that's so big, it's called the Ajax. That its fangs are so long that it can bite you through your boot. Because Australia seems to have that every day. What?
Australia is trying to kill you.
I was going to say, Australia has every day.
Their birds attack you once a year.
The birds?
The magpies, they have like swooping season.
Swooping season.
Magpies attack.
Did you see the video on YouTube about the guy that was on the moped with a small motorcycle and the magpie was trying to
It's
kill
in
him?
Australia.
That was all, I tell you, what's Australia now? I didn't know that. I looked up on that.
Spiders too, because they burn.
Those are camels. Is it the bird-eating spider that hunts down birds in Utah?
They look like crabs.
Oh, God. You shot a
Well, there's a good side. There's a good side. Spiders don't carry bacteria. They're not that high. Well, yeah, they're poisonous. But spiders, which are technically arachnids, y'all are so good. Spiders have how many legs?
8.
So that's your arachnids. They are not known at this time. I always say this time because things change. So I try to, keep up with it. They bite you, they're not giving you bacteria, they're just poisoning you. Now, there is a link on my site that you go to with microcronin where I show where a MRSA room is being cleaned out. It's really vivid, and I don't want to watch it. He says that started with a spider bite that got infected with MRSA. So, you can take that one. All right. But two types of arachnids could be problems. Mites. mites.
Are we on?
Right here. Arachnids going up to mites. Arachnids going up to mites. They can transmit rickettsia diseases. Rickettsia disease is typhus, which is right here, scrub typhus, and also rickettsia pox. Rickettsia is an obligate intracellular parasite. And that's the Rocky Mountain spotted fever one also. And that can, in some countries, include, I'll tell you later. Okay, the second worst vector is tick. Ticks, and doesn't have to be deer ticks, different ticks are different types for different seasons. The second worst vector. Lyme disease, I'm tired of hearing that, deer tick. Rocky Mountain spotted fever, that's rickettsia. Then you have relapsing fever, guess what happens to your fever? It keeps coming back. Tick-borne encephalitis means it hits, cephalus means brain hit, and tularemia, which is just one on the beat inside zone. So that's your spiders, they're pretty easy, you don't do too much. Well, not spiders, arachnids. Moving to insects, how many legs on an insect? Six. Fleas, in fact, people, mammals, birds, well, we know that. You ever see how far a flea can jump? Man, they can jump. One time, I'm not sure why we were there, but there was some sort of investigation. We sat down in an abandoned apartment place. I kid you not, the fleas in a black wave started coming up from the carpet and climbing up our leg. Because whoever was there in a no-pet place obviously had to have pets. And if everybody left for several months, the fleas hatched and they are very hungry. They're very hungry. That's how you bomb. Alright? Dog flea is the intermediate for the dog tapeworm. So if your dog has fleas, there's the facultative possibility that bites you to get the dog tapeworm in your chest. Alright? I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it can happen.
How could you get rid of it if you did?
If you get tapeworms, go to the doctor, they use medicine, and they come out and they kill them.
You wouldn't know how to have it.
It depends. There was a case, our fire this, where a young lady went to the doctor having abdominal pain. Usually you feel something coming out at night through that area, or you get abdominal cramps. She had terrible abdominal cramps, and sometimes she made that. And the doctor did some sort of something, I can't remember, some imaging, I can't remember which type, and they found her. They were going to look at it. She went to the bathroom, she felt so bad, and a whole bunch of worms came out in the tongue. And she came back, told the doctor and her mother, of course, they could, and the mother went, oh no. Her mother had given her and bought illegally off the internet tapeworm eggs and stored her daughter in her slippers. And it used to be that people would buy, you could used to legally buy tapeworm eggs to make yourself much legal and go to the doctor and clear it. Illegal meal, but people were doing it under, that's not really good. It's not really really great, just go pet your dog. No, that's anyhow. Your senior pets, you just know what that is. They carry black death. Okay, going over, we already talked about insects, so flies. Type of fly is the mosquito, but before we get there, the sand fly in the eastern hemisphere is leishmaniasis. What I want you to know about that is this is zoonosis. What is zoonosis? The fly has to bite a what and then bite you. Think zoo. Animal. Bites an animal, then bites you, you get this parasitic disease. TC flies are tiny little flies that carry protozoan trypanosoma. I'll go over that in the next handout. And they cause African sleeping sickness, very quick jump typhus. Okay, mosquitoes are considered a type of fly. They include the worst vector. Mosquitoes are the worst. Malaria, that is a problem in most of the world. We've had a few cases in southern Florida. Used to malaria was in the United States. They killed it off with DDT, which of course causes environmental problems too, and it can come back. Dengue is in the Caribbean, heading our way. Makes your bones hurt a lot. Yellow fever Filariasis is dog heartworms, which we can't get, or for us, which we shouldn't get. In the mountains part of the world, in the other part of the world, elephantiasis. What is elephantiasis? Huge swelling, because the little worm, it's actually a worm, blocks your lymph nodes. Your lymph can't drain, what happens? Mass, plus the skin turns like rock, like leather rock. That, bottom one there is Rift Valley fever, which is, and viral encephalitis. I just want you to know these mosquitoes can kill those. Dengue fever, viral encephalitis, which hits the brain, Rift Valley fever, located mostly in Africa. Okay, kissing bugs. That is Trypanosoma, which is a protozoan. It is a type of cockroach. At this point in time, it's not here. It is the vector for Chagas disease, which is in South America, Central America.
What is it?
Chagas disease, C-H-A-G-A-S. C-H-A-G-A-S. And I'm actually going to go over that with the protozoan in the next eukaryotic movement. The kissing bugs carry that. What happens when you go to sleep at night and turn the lights off and you let the piece out? Cockroaches. Anybody else? You don't leave food out. What comes around? Cockroaches. Everybody in the world. This is a type of cockroach called the kissing bug. Comes out, likes to bite people. When it bites people, it doesn't give anything to bite like the mosquito does. The mosquito gives it to the bite. Tick gives you the disease with bite. This one poops on the other end. But you have a small little puncture wound, and a little teeny while you're asleep. You know while you're sleeping, right? You scratch it, you inoculate yourself. Kissing bug is a misname, and yes, it can bite you anywhere in your body it wants to, but I like to go for the thinnest part of your face because not your mouth, it's real true. He's heading our way. We already have cases that are showing up in Texas and California. Probably. Yes, they are. Yes. There was a high school student, but it wasn't caught there. They came back from touring South America and went into some of the towns. You heard that? He was donating blood, just to be nice. They checked the blood for a whole bunch of things. He had shots. Well, he had no symptoms yet, because the symptoms can hide for 15 years, and then come out these days and they were very calming, weren't you? Okay, transmitted, usually Central South America. Living to lice, increasing the elementary schools, any sort of upholstery type of thing. In the United States, lice don't carry anything. In other parts of the world, they carry rickettsia. That means typhus. You go to the movie theater. It has nice upholstered movie seats. And of course, before you was infested with lice. And you sit back. There's a good chance you're going to come home with lice. Okay. But the United States at this time, I always have to say at this time because diseases move, you're not in trouble. That's not lice, but they're eggs. What are their eggs called? Nits. And you take a what? A comb and you comb.
It's really bad here. It's lice is really bad in
Here.
England. I have friends that went over there and they all come back. They always have lice in their teeth.
Oh, I heard some of the castles have it.
Ugh.
Okay. That's that. I'm going to move now to the eukaryotes. You know, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll get rid of it right now. I'm not trying to do that to you, okay? This will be the next one when we get to it. Okay, we're going to start. Not the bacteria, but the who? The eukaryotes. Who needs 3 types of amoeba? Everybody. What is an amoeba? It means it has a soft body that changes. miscount, please let me know, and I'll get another finger in a row. Yeah, that's good. Where y'all having for lunch? We'll find it good. But it's interesting. Okay, amoeba. We are now with the protozoans. Protozoans as a eukaryotic group, you already know this from lab, but I'm going to say it again. No cell wall, correct? No cell wall. Most of them are animal-like cells. Right? Only a few small subgroups can be photosynthetic, and the rest of them have to hunt down their food and eat it, so they're chemoparathyroids. Let's say it one time. No cell walls, animal-like cells. Only a few small subgroups can be photosynthetic, the rest have to hunt down their food, called chemoparathyroids. 3 types of amoeba. First is Pygmalidia. What does pseudopod mean? It extends part of its oozing self out. That's the false foot. Pod means foot, pseudo means false. They reproduce by splitting apart, which is technically they call binary fission, but I think they can do that, but I have a bacteria a lot more. Going to amoebozoa. These are your true amoeba. Well, no, has no shells. It's that oozing thing that just oozes around and keeps changing shape. Okay, pathogenic points. 3 you need to know. Naegleria and Acanthamoeba are 2 different types of amoeba. I want you to separate out a little bit. Acanthamoeba usually goes after your eye, especially if you're a contact lens wearer, and it's been known to destroy people's cornea. Acanthamoeba goes after the eyes, especially if you're a contact lens wearer. Naegleria is certainly in our state. You've heard those sad cases. People swim in the ponds, goes through the nose, goes through the brain, kills the child. Destroys the brain. There's no treatment. There's this very sad use of destroying the brain. Often what occurs in warm waters, warm with Florida. But in Indiana they had a case. What months do they have to be? Summer. Not good. Okay. They're in water, and when we go swimming, they're thinking the sediments come up from infected. Entamoeba is just intestinal. It can be a resident in your intestine and not cause any problem. Normal have it inside animals. If it gets out of control, maybe it's compromised immune system, can cause amoebic diarrhea. That's necessary. So those are your just plain oozing amoeba. Then we're going to do the other type. The other 2 types over here are shells. They have shells. Sort of like putting a person in a suit of armor overnight. Now they have holes in the shells, so what do they send out through the holes in the shells? The pseudopods. The food, the tasting environment, whatever it is. First one is Foraminophora. Say that 100 times real quick. Foraminophora. I don't even want you to have to know Cercozoa. Just don't look at that. I want you to know that these have shells of calcium carbonate. As soon as I say calcium carbonate, you think limestone. Because millions and millions of these compressed through the centuries gave us limestone. It's the shells of dead amoeba. Okay, where I talk about the shell coming through. The limestone is what the pyramids were built of. This is excuse me if I do again. Foraminophora, that's him right there. This is the shell made of what? Calcium carbonate. What are these holes? That's to put the pseudopods through. That's them separate, crush them together for eons of time, and you get the Great Pyramids. And limestone. And limestone tends to wash away very easily with acidic rains. What's up through all the Appalachians that people often go visit? Caves. It's part of the rock. It's softer once the rain gets dissolving away, you get a cave. Radiolaria, that just means ornate shells, but this time not calcium carbonate, silica. I say silica, do you think glass, opal, or mother of pearl? Okay, glass-like, opal, or mother of pearl. If I say marine plankton, you think beginning of the food chain. And again, what it says is, of course, they can send their pseudopods through holes in their shell. On the back, let's catch up. Okay. On the back, this is going to sound familiar, but it's a eukaryote and a prokaryote, are your slime molds. All I want you to know about this is not everything that's in the book, what I'm about to tell you. All these are eukaryotes. Everything we're going over is eukaryotes. We've changed to the eukaryote track. You walk in the woods. These slime molds the cells will aggregate, and they're actually individual cells, and they'll just ooze in a flat ooze from one area to another. If they run out of food, does this sound familiar? They can rise up, create spores on the end, send out their spores, and I call them the spores. And if they land and there's food, they live again, and if there's not food, they die. You can look in the woods next time you go and see if there's some leaf matter. That's not what to show you. That's not what to show you. And then come back down in a minute. Okay. That's the slime mold. And if you watch it, it's going to be like an amoeba. It's going to be oozing out through one part. What this was, that's Naegleria. That's a person or an animal, CDC called a person, that died of Naegleria. Harms that brain. Come back to that one. Oh! We'll come to him in a minute. You'll recognize some of it. Is everybody okay with that? These are so interesting. No, we don't want to catch them, but they are interesting. Okay, coming to the next one. We're still on the protozoa. Still on the protozoa. I'm going to hand this out to you. I think everybody reads it. These are called the alveolates. The alveolates. What are the alveoli? The little teeny sacs in our lungs that where we exchange our gases, right? These organisms have small structures inside them that look like alveoli, but they don't have any form in it. But every time they look at them, they have it. So they named the whole group, guess what? The alveolates. That doesn't mean they won't find out in the future, but we just don't know right now. If I have the number wrong, please just either pass it back up or let me know if you use it. Okay, 3 types of groups. Ciliates. How do you think the ciliates move? With cilia. Apicomplexans. Think cannon. Okay, so it's alveolates, ciliates, apicomplexans, and then nanophytos. Okay, it's in the center, underneath alveolates.
What?
Canum. The apicomplexans have a special structure that they use to open up the host cell on one side. Think plasmodium. Plasmodium causes malaria. Malaria is carried by the Anopheles mosquito. Keep that in mind, so we're going to come back to it again. First, I'm going to do the ciliates on the side right here. Ciliates over here. They move by cilia. Okay? They can, on the far side, it says pathogen, and it's supposed to be Balantium. So B-L, there's a B before the L. B-L-A-N-T-I-D-M. B-L-A-N-T-I-D-M. And also the focus notes. Not usually dangerous, but can give us diarrhea. That's it. Not usually dangerous. He's a big round circle, bunch of cilia around the outside. And can give us diarrhea. Bill is environmental. Didinium is eats protozoa. Eats paramecium. You ever heard of paramecium? So just go around not doing from anybody that overshade some food. He hunts them down and eats them. That's about all he does. Ciliates can use their cilia to move themselves through the water or to move water over themselves. If they're moving water over themselves, they're trying to keep the flow of what over themselves? Nutrients. Food. Going to the apicomplexans in the center. Apicomplexans. They are pathogens. They're named after that complex. Means apex complex, A-P-E-X complex, A-P-E-X complex. That's the can over here. In the center, right here. Is there? That's their cannabis. Their cannabis, their friend. Okay, cannabis. And APEX is the name of the complex, Apex complex. Okay, Plasmodium, I just told you, causes malaria. There are several different species based on the cycle of fever, quiet time between the fevers. Some will give you a mild malaria, you're probably okay. Some, like black lung, probably kill you. Cryptosporidium, just know that that's one of the associated diseases with HIV patients because their immune system is compromised. Toxoplasma is your cat.
What does it say on the bottom of that?
Causes toxoplasmosis. It's just toxoplasmosis. They're really magic in how to do these things. Your cat, if it eats an outdoor rat or mouse, can have toxoplasma. If you clean the cat box and it gets inside you, a lot of us have a non-symptomatic infection, some of us do, some of us don't, it will harm you. A pregnant woman should never clean a cat box. Pregnant woman should never clean a cat box. I'll have to do so. Thank you for your patience.